we're actually building here might need another second to sink in. Want to go over this whole multiple universe thing for everyone?
Yes, I wouldn't mind a little more detail.
Explains why the Starborn want the artifact so bad. Get them all, and you've got a gateway to infinity.
I don't even want to think about the physiological changes you'd need to travel between universes.
Plus what it would do to the mind? Enlightenment? Or oblivion? Like the Hunter.
You have the opportunity to reach the closest thing to your god that might exist. And you're second-guessing it?
One doesn't approach the afterlife without some trepidation. You're right. We have to see the unity for ourselves.
You know it. Now, once everyone's head stops spinning from all of this, we can get back to work.
Not to make a sharp turn in a grand tale, but I got the eye fixed up. Bruised, but still blinking. Let me know when you're ready to follow up on what it's seen. These last glimpses from the eye are from the farthest fringes of known space. Could be the only remaining pieces outside the hands of the Starborn. Aye. The blackest sea seems less of a concern when there are sharks leaping out at you. Catch a smile out there.
I'm not sure what these...
Hi. So many people here. So many people saying goodbye. Is this supposed to make everything okay? Make everyone feel better? What's the point? It's not going to change anything. I just feel like I want to be a million light years away from everyone. I want to be alone for a while, okay?
I am told these types of gatherings are a sad vacation. That assumption appears to be correct.
So, instead, I thought I would quote something that gave me comfort a long time ago. Is God real? The more proper question would be, is reality divine? Existence itself is a mystery which yearns to be uncovered. What is goodness but a comparison to the good? What is existence but a participation in being? For where the diversity of the universe inspires awe and wonder, it exists only in contrast to a simplicity so pure that it may only be understood as primordial and even divine. Our essence is what was imagined by its mind. But what we consider imagining and what we consider mind are in fact so far beyond our understanding that even these metaphors are like the tiny white caps on a massive searching sea. There's more, but those are the parts that speak to me the most.
That was really thoughtful, Mateo. Thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything? Thank you. If anyone else wants to say something. I hope this is all okay. Between fixing things up and sending out messengers and getting all the paperwork done. It's not much. I haven't really been sleeping much. I'm not having the best dreams right now. Good. Good. Sorry, if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start crying. Could you excuse me?
I don't often speak about what I believe in. It seems so redundant with how I live. But death is one of those occasions where it's hard not to look inward. Our friend is gone. There's no afterlife or second meetings. No God in heaven that is curating a perfect ending. So it's up to us. We are what lives on. If the pain of loss inspires us to greater action, then that is the good that comes from this. Humanity is what truly creates our world. We are the ones that judge things to be good or evil, joyful or mournful. Let us take responsibility for it. Let us remember what we have lost.
Walter, are you part of the House of Enlightenment? I never knew that.
Yes, well, I like to keep some things private.
You all might not like thinking about this, but when we die, everything about us breaks down, decomposes, gets eaten up by insects and microbes. Or due to the lack of a biosphere, we are simply carried away by space and time until we sizzle in a distant sun's corona or get pulled in some gravitational field and coalesce with other debris. Not comforting, huh? But I disagree. Do you know what I find uncomfortable? The thought that after I die, the universe is just going to stand still forever. Could you imagine? The fact is that the universe goes on, that life goes on, that things do not just sit still. That right there is the comfort that I need. Yeah, we die, and some people go way before they should. But the universe doesn't care. Not because it's evil, but because it's infinite, ever expanding. And who wouldn't want to be a part of infinity, even if it's just for a short while? Listen, we don't worry about ourselves before we were born, do we? Of course not. We emerge from the universe as we return to it. And for one beautiful moment, we are here, together.
Yes, that certainly was an interesting perspective, Barrett.
Everyone is in mourning. I understand, but I cannot quite share in their emotion. After the shock of what happened faded, I have felt nothing else. Just a numbness. I have seen death. I have lost people I considered close. But this is... it is not the same. I cannot explain why. I am not sure I am making sense. Thank you. If you have the time, I wish to speak to you. This is harder than I expected. I am reminded of how different Constellation works compared to what I am used to.
Is it quieter in the lodge, or is it just me? Death is a bastard. Comes for us all. You know, there's an old Aquila story about two pioneers who got lost trying to find a new frontier to settle. One of them takes ill. Clear he's not gonna make it, he turns to his partner and says, "Don't bury me. Let the ground take what it's due. I'd rather be a ghost chasing after you than walk through the pearly gates knowing an eternity of loneliness until you get there." Sad story, huh? You look after yourself. I've got some stuff on my mind when you have the time. Got a lot of sad tales I'm running through my head right now. Hate to bore you.
Drink? Pour one out to the blackest sea? Two old friends. May their ghosts go past the edges of space, to the great beyond. I
am sorry. My head is swimming.
Ah, yes. I remember you. The wedding. I was so happy for both of you. I wish the circumstances of my visit were better. Unfortunately, this isn't the first Constellation funeral I've been to. After 35 years, you say goodbye to a lot of friends. I hope you don't mind me saying, but I feel numb just thinking about it. Sarah meant the world to me. She was the future. I knew it as soon as I met her. Oh yes, I was Sebastian Banks's protege, if that gives you any idea of how long I was part of our little club. Exactly the same as when you met her, I bet. Determined. Fearless. With just a small hint of delight on her face when she knew she was winning, eh? My only problem as a mentor was trying to convince her to be more tactful. Those old military instincts would always get her in trouble. Yes, she could make me so angry, or so happy, We used to joke that we were married. I bet relationships in Constellation are still messy, aren't they? We're more of a family than an organization. All the former lines bleed together. It makes the losses sting harder. But I hope it means the time you had together was all the more important. That's how I like to think of it anyway. Knew him, argued with him, tried to carry on his memory when he vanished. Sebastian will be back tomorrow, we always used to say. It reminded us that he was still here, in the bones of this old building.
You know, what you're feeling right now is a chemical reaction whose evolutionary goal is promoting social cohesion. Never seems to work for me. No matter how many times I do this, I feel less attached, not more. I wrote the book on them. The 10 Stages of Grief by A. Barrett. Step 1 used to be have a drink. But nowadays I settle on a good chocolate bar. You know, if there's one piece of advice I can actually give you, it's that lost loved ones have a way of coming back to you. One day you'll be sweeping out some old shelf or digging through a desk, and there it'll be. Some old paperweight of theirs. Or a piece of jewelry they gave you, half-jokingly. Theoretically, of course. Nope, not even for a moment. Funerals are there to remind survivors that they aren't alone. The dead have already finished their part in our story. You're welcome. Dusty. Dusty. Let's talk. Don't drown too much in all this despair. Life moves on. We're the ones who end up standing still.
Chat for a bit? Normally, I hate talking to people at funerals, but, well. You don't believe in the afterlife, do you? I mean, this might be the worst time to bring it up, but... Yes. Won't we all? Well, I've taken up enough of your time. We're all that lives on when someone dies. It's up to us to decide how we remember them.
It almost feels wrong to be grieving. Selfish. No amount of tears will bring the dead back. Yes. We don't have a way of knowing whether we really touched the departed with our grief. We just have to have faith. It's just easier to feel guilty, if you'll excuse me. Living through loss. Is there any part of life more painful?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I know. She said that to me like 1,000 times. It's just that I feel so alone. With Sarah, it was like starting a family again. The way she'd smile at me reminded me of my mom. I missed that so much. Now she's gone, and I have to start over, like I did before. It's not the same. Sarah was starting to feel like, well, like she was my new mom. I really don't want to go through this again. It's too hard. I can't believe Sarah's gone. It's not fair. You really think so? I'll try my best. Hey, thanks for talking to me. I'm actually feeling a little better knowing that you care how I feel. Maybe I'm not so alone after all.
I am told these types of... Correct. I would say that I appreciate your candor, but we both know that would only be a simulated response for your benefit, not unlike the way people say, sorry for your loss, even when they clearly are not experiencing any signs of regret. If you would like, though, I can add some consoling language to my programming. It will take some time to adapt, but it will be okay. How was that? I will note that feedback for later.
I am reminded of how different Constellation works compared to what I'm used
to. I have been idle here for a long time. I believe Barrett would
Take credit for your thoughts, as they say.
So, we finally have all the answers. And yet here I stand, feeling like I understand even less than I did before. This talk of the unity of a multiverse? Dead friends appearing again? It is all simply too much. Does it? Perhaps you find all this satisfactory, but I am afraid I do not. We must take the word of a murderer and follow him into the Unity? What if it does nothing the Starborn have claimed? So you would just step into this Unity based on what? Feelings? You have no idea what will happen if you do. None at all. You know that I love you, and I want to be there for you, but this is such an immense decision. Even if everything the Starborn have said is true, if you pass into this Unity and come out in some other universe, look at who they are, at what they have become. They have the faces and voices of people you know, but are nothing like them. Are you not at all worried that the same fate would befall you? That you would become someone unrecognizable to the rest of us? Can it not be about both? We have been through a great deal together. If you go into this unity, we have no idea whether we would ever see each other again. Or, if we did, would we be the same? Different versions of ourselves somehow? That is not a risk I think I wish to take. Yes, I know. I can see it in your eyes. For your sake, I will try not to imagine the worst. Focus on the positives instead. But you must understand that I do not find this easy. We should get back to it. Now that we know what to work towards, there's no time to waste.
It's good to be out and about. Lives get stuffy sometimes. So we know the answer. Who are the Starborn? Well, we are. We're some cracked mirror version of ourselves. The whole thing seems unreal. Doesn't it? I was hoping the Starborn were somehow so advanced that their concerns were cosmic, significant. Instead, they're fighting over goddamn toys like we've been doing since caveman times. It's just a stupid game to them. And all our deaths and suffering, not relevant. God, I hope it is. So the Unity is a gateway. A gateway to countless possibilities. And you have a chance to go through it. Imagine. I'd be lying if it doesn't sound like the adventure of a lifetime. I don't know if you're taking anyone with you. But if you take me, I got no idea if I'd go through or not. If it went for Cora, I'd jump on it in a heartbeat. Cora would probably shove both of us out of the way and dive in first. Born explorer, that girl. Exactly, right? I know it's your decision who to work with, but you gotta remember that the Hunter murdered our friend. Sure, the emissary may be a version of Sarah, so Sarah is still alive. Sort of. But that doesn't make what the Hunter did right. Not by a long shot. If the Starborn are party crashers from different universes, I'd side with the one that's not willing to murder innocents to win. It was a decent argument, I guess. Look, I don't know, I'm a simple man. I just want justice for our friend. My head is still spinning. Maybe after a few nights' sleep, it'll be clearer. Take care.
Indeed, I did. I did what I needed to do. Hello, excellent to see you.
Talk to me. This is amazing. The Unity, the multiverse. This is everything and more, literally. No kidding. Think of the dissertations. Boundless topics, no bounds. Except the books. They're bound. This explains so much, though. They're disorganized, petty, weird, and also deeply fascinating at the same time. Because they are just people. We never rule that out, but it feels so good to know we weren't fighting against robot alien ghost gods or something. No. Not even slightly. They're people who obtain power in some unfair way, and some of them have used that power to cause suffering, and others just didn't want to share. But that's what regular people do every day of the year. True. We need to approach this critically and carefully. We can't just jump in. Or, I mean, we could, I guess. But it all comes back to this. We don't know what will happen if you enter the Unity. You might lose yourself or become a two-headed space shark. There are too many variables. What? No. I just have to go back and forth about it for a while first, and then I'll be completely fine. Just part of my process. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I will say this. Our entire purpose in Constellation is to explore. Why would we stop now? It's the nexus point for all universes with infinite possibilities. What could go wrong? I'm with you. I'm not going to hold you back. But if you know, become evil or whatever, I'm also not going to have your back. Anytime. The possibility of turning evil aside, I appreciate you taking the lead on this. You're guiding Constellation to new frontiers, new discoveries,